1, 2, 3, 4.
Our first participant on this round table will be Luís Rivero. Luís is the creative director of Urban Simulations, a company currently among the most innovative in the world doing special effects for architecture. Educated as an architect between La Coruña and Madrid, Luís started as a visualizer 24 years ago, so that's also quite a lot. AutoShade in 1992 and 3D Studio 1 in 1994 were the first animation tools. But the main concern of Luís was to tell stories, bringing architecture to life, and inspired by the photography of Julius Schulman and the mid-century America's architecture, he decided to bring people to the photographs. Urban Simulations has a wide range of clients, and more than 300 projects with movies have been produced the last 2 decades. Welcome, Luís. And the next participant in this roundtable is Patricio Navarro. Patricio studied engineering in La Plata University and architecture in Universidad de Belgrano, both in Argentina, and is the CEO and co-founder of Arx Solutions. Under his leadership, the company became the top architectural visualization firm in Argentina and is now recognized as one of the top firms in Florida. Patricio created the firm along with his brother Gonzalo Navarro in 1996 as an architectural firm called Arx Arquitectura. The firm would come to be called Arx Solutions in 2003 with the opening of the Miami branch. Under Patricio's leadership, the firm has achieved much success with an impressive year-over-year growth rate and a lot of recognitions from international institutions. As the CEO of Arx Solutions, Patricio develops the long-term vision for the company. Welcome. And our next participant is Andras Kaldos. Andras is the co-founder and managing director of Brick Visual. Andras is a true architectural artist, having extensive experience as an architect visualizer, functional supervisor, and trainer in technology. He has received recognition in a number of competitions. He is the CEO of Brick since its establishment and made the company grow from scratch to its current 40 professionals while being active as senior 3D artist as well. His interests cover experimental architecture and fractals. Brick Visual is a team of highly skilled professionals from the fields of architecture, design, and technology. Brick works with well-known international architecture studios and developers and adapts to the latest technological improvements while maintaining its distinctive artistic style. Please welcome. And the moderator for this roundtable will be Alberto Berga. Alberto is an architect, partner, and co-founder of Berga and González, together with Javier González. Berga and González focuses on the development of high-quality images and concept design services for architects and developers. The company develops its work with international clients and projects in more than 40 countries. But as a father of twins, he is one of the few men in the world capable of doing 2 things at the same time. Welcome, Alberto.
Well, thank you, Anna, for your presentation. Welcome, guys, to this roundtable. We are going to call it business, but I would like to call it as well, show me the money, okay? We want the money of the clients. Okay, then we have these guys here. They are really big companies. They have amazing staff. They have big teams. So I want to take this occasion to learn as much as possible from them. I'm pretty sure that they are going to share good tricks. So let's pay attention to it, okay? I wanted to start talking about money, okay? But this is what I wanted. No. This is what I wanted, but the other day I was just in the sofa, very tired at night, I was just with my wife next to me, and she took this list of questions, and she told me, "Are you going to start talking about money?" She said, "This is not polite at all." So as I have a mix, a blend of fear and respect for her, so I'm going to start talking about clients. Okay. But before doing that, I want to make an experiment. This is out of the script, but just Luis gave me a good idea. I want the three of you to take me a picture right now. Okay? Can you do that for me? With my mobile phone. Okay?
With yours or?
Yeah, with mine. Whatever you want. The best shot that you can make.
This take time, okay? Can I use pan instead of steel? This is not an iPhone.
No, this is not gonna.
Where is the pan?
Just stand still.
Okay.
Okay.
Just steel?
I'm the client.
Okay.
This is my first requirement.
No. You are not the client. The client is the audience and the visibility you want to have with this picture. Then you are not the client. The client is your business.
I'm a client with a wrong idea.
Most of the clients are wrong. I need to use pan. Sorry. Yeah.
Next one, please. Peter. What do you think is the best point of view? Where do you want me to stay?
Look at there. Stay. Okay, so anyway. Stay. Look up.
Ah, okay.
So the problem is that anyway. Look the immensity.
Okay, and the last one. Please, Andras. Oh, you have. Ah, okay. This is not an
Samsung.
I'm a small car. Okay, jump.
Did it work?
I did 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes. It's a good strategy. Okay, guys, this was just an experiment because I wanted to take 3 good images from these professional guys. The 30 of Andros are amazing. The one from Patricio is amazing, and the one of Luis is amazing. Then let's imagine that they have similar rates, okay? You have similar rates, you do amazing stuff, but I'm the client. I want you to convince me about making a project with you. What's different? How can I rely on you besides quality and the price?
Generally or in our own companies?
Use the mic. Ah, sorry.
Yeah? Okay. Generally or in our own companies?
In your own companies.
Yeah, that's privileged information. We cannot do. No, I'm kidding. Working with our companies depends on the portfolio. All the people here is completely different. We are artists, and you can choose between Velázquez, Rembrandt, Goya, whatever you want. Then, for the clients specifically looking for us, because they are looking at our work and telling, okay, I identify with this kind of job. Since most of the people here is working still renderings instead of movies, our work is completely different. We work with the storytelling. I know perfectly the work from Nick. Where is Nick? Nick from Squint Opera? Ah, okay, sorry. It's completely different than ours. It's other kind of style, language of communication, architecture, and when the client comes for us or for Squint, it's completely straight because they love their work. Then when you try to convince a client, if they reach us, they are convinced. Then I think that trying to convince between Squint and or urban simulations
I love the work of Squint Opera.
Sorry?
And I love yours.
Yeah.
I love both works.
Yeah.
How should I make this decision?
It's your decision, it's not ours. It depends on the resources. For instance,
then you don't have
when-
no strategy for that.
Yeah, we have a strategy. I'm not going to start to tell you what my strategy. No, I'm kidding. For us, the strategy of trying to sell a movie to somebody is in advance giving three main ideas, three different stories. You start with a story about, let's picture a resort in Asia. And for the client, in advance, no fees in advance, and we're trying to give him three ideas. Okay, the ideas we use for more clients than this guy, but we customize the idea for this guy. Then the guy is convinced because, oh, yes, these three good ideas for us, for our resort in Asia. Wow, good work. And we didn't pay anything for that. And from that point, it's really easy for us to compete with people that only send a budget and portfolio. Mm-hmm. That's a good strategy for getting these guys.
Okay. And what about you, Patricio?
Well, hello. Yeah. I don't know. Is it working? Yeah. Okay. Well, technically, in ARX, we focus on the client's experience. That is one of the main things. Several clients come to us and they are looking for a product, but we try to convince them that is a service, basically. And what does it mean, the service? Is we try to keep a service that is completely painless, stress-free. That is extremely important for us. Because anyone can get a client, but client for us is a client who is having and is coming for a second job. It's a repetitive client. And based on that approach, we try to focus, okay, of having of getting the right outcome. And what is the outcome? The user experience. The user experience is, of course, the quality of the rendering, or the quality of the animation, or the quality of the VR that we delivered, but also how it was the process, how tough it was the process. If we try to always try to surpass the expectation. Nick was very good explaining the expectation. In our case, one of our strategy is we try to marketing with quality that is below our deliverables. So that is a strategy that it helped us in the past. So let's say that in the terms of quality for each one, of course, again, quality is different for each person, but let's say that in your scale of from 1 to 10, okay, your quality, your average quality is, I don't know, an 8, okay? If you're marketing, an average means that there's a few works that you will deliver in 6, and some other, or only a few, or one of them, will have a 9 or 10. The problem is that if you set up the level of expectations using the best 10 images that you produce in your whole life, your chances to disappoint your client are going to be really high, because your probabilities to achieve that level of quality with all your clients, with all your deliverables, is going to be impossible. That is why you have an average of 7. Mm-hmm. You are not in 9. So, but if the client, let's say, so setting up the level of expectations is critical for us. And we try to, if we know that we are producing as an average of 7 or 8, we try to, when the client said, okay, I don't know, do you have resorts in the Caribbean that you can share? Okay, yeah, we will deliver, but we never deliver the best of the best. We deliver something below, because that is the way that we set up certain expectations. And of course, we are doing that in a way that the average is quite high enough in order to get, because of course, if you are setting too low the bar, okay, it means that you will put on risk the probability or your chances to get the job. But setting up the right level of expectation, suddenly, when you go into the project and you deliver a 9 or an 8, okay, suddenly the clients love it. And that is why we try to build relationships based on the customer experience. So mm-hmm. It's a different thing.
Okay. Andras?
Yeah, usually we put past images on our website, and we're trying to use a different strategy, not not the average one. But in general, most of the time clients come to us, so they have a certain expectation what we can do. Usually, I'm not a salesperson for sure, so we have, of course, agents. We have in-house commercial director who can tell more about these things. But for sure, most of the time when we have an incoming, even an existing client, what we're trying to sell is and add to the expectation what they bring us on the table is the service. What we can add is the same what you mentioned, because that's something which is really evaluate our work. And the other talk also brought up this topic that basically everybody can do nice rendering nowadays. Lots of people can do even nice composition, not just renderings, because that's a bad word. But what you do additionally is the real value. And then you have to talk with the client, you have to convince, and it's not the price, it's not necessarily the quality, but the service. And the service includes the way how you deliver it, how you fulfill the needs, and how you make them happy. So if you have a process when they feel they are succeeding, even if it's fake succeeding, then you make them happy. So for example, if we have a problematic situation and we want the clients happy, so fulfill their comments, we sometimes cheat a little bit and put a really obvious mistake on the preview, and then they can comment it freely.
Okay, then we can say that besides quality and price, there is something very important, that is the service. This is not. This is quite evident for you guys that have been doing this work for a long time, but this is something that people that is starting the business is not very focused on it. Usually, they start just thinking about quality and spend a lot of time tweaking their final renders. But I want to say that keep attention on the quality of your service to client. So this is a big point. I wanted to ask as well to the people, how many of you are freelancers? Okay, a lot of people here. So what do you think about freelancers? Are they going to survive when they are 50 years old and they have kids and a wife? Are they going to have a wife and kids?
No.
And they keep on being freelance? So what's the next step? If you want to start growing your company, could you give some advice to these guys? Just stop doing that or get a life? What could you say to them?
Maybe the question is bad. I mean, is it like a lower level of being in a business as a freelancer? I don't think so. It's another form of doing Archviz, of course, with lots of positive things. Simply the pricing, probably a freelancer costs are much lower. Flexibility in certain level, and if we compare it, it's just two different forms. Of course, if you want to build up business that's like not being as a freelancer, that's another story. But if you are succeeding as a freelancer, I wouldn't say it's a lower form doing Archviz.
No, I didn't mean that it's a lower form, but somehow you make this decision about not being a freelance. Why did you do that?
Because I wouldn't survive in Hungary as a freelancer. I know. Yeah.
In my case, I was lucky to have a friend who was reading a book that it helped me a lot. Okay, and it helped me to clarify myself what I really wanted to be, basically. And the differentiation of this in the industry, in any industry, basically, if you are doing business and you are working with human resources, basically, there's three different levels, basically. If you are an employee, okay, this is the first category, and as an employee, basically, you have the pros and the odds as any other category, So basically, you can do whatever you want. Okay, you love to play with 3D Max, and you work for someone else. But the bad thing is that your potential leverage, or your potential new income is going to be limited by your salary. So, but the good thing is that at the end of the month you will get the money, in your payroll. So, is one specific way of life. The second one is a self-employed, self-employed, like you are a freelancer, you do, and you are the system. Basically, in the employee, you work for a system. When you are a self-employed, basically you are the system. It's like a cab driver. If you don't spend enough time driving your car, you are not going to get any money. So that is an odd, basically, but it's very clear that if you would like to be the system, not necessarily mean that one self-employed, is one single person. It can be a studio of 8 guys, But if you are the one that you are doing the production, you are doing all the post-production goes through you, and you are the one who is getting the collections, and you are sending the invoice, and you have the conversation with the tax guy, All of those aspects means that you are not an orchestra. You are a singer with a group of musicians that are helping you temporarily, But you are the system. The problem is that, of course, the good thing is that nobody tell you, you don't have a boss. Your income can be variable, But anyway, that is one system that is very clear. If you would like to if you are not willing to deal with human resources, for example, or what is the next step? Should I grow or stay back? I'm worried because I'm increasing my fixed cost. Those kind of things, if you are not willing to deal with them, that is your area, Of course, the third one is someone who developed a system that is working for him. And the big question, if you don't know if you are a company or you are a self-employed, basically, let me ask you the question. Can you go out of your business and return in 6 months and find that the business is still there first? Does it grow? If you cannot answer that question, you are a self-employed.
I think that if I do that, Javier will kill me. So I will be a dead man.
But the process of moving from self-employed to someone who has a company in this, I'm probably the heavier guy here in the salon. I have 4 kids. So most of what you describe is my reality. So I was very clever about what I would like to do, in my future, And it's very clear. It was very clear that I was looking for more a company or a firm with certain scale, because of course the good thing is that you can get more money, but it's not the money what it really moved me. I was looking for bigger projects, bigger scope of works. When you have a small team, you can technically run the coolest project on earth. And I was looking for some of the coolest projects on earth. And the only way to work on them was having a production team with certain scale that can basically provide the service in the level of quality that we need. So that was my scenario. So that is the first question that it needs to bring to your brain and ask yourself, what of these 3? Because let me tell you something. It's cool to get a good income, but it has a lot of responsibility. The problem of paying the payroll at the end of the month is going to be exactly the same. No matter what is the scale, always is going to be a concern. But the most important thing is that it's a major decision, because going into that direction, it means that you will start to use less and less 3D Max and more Excel. So be aware about that thing, because if you don't want to go into the Excel because it's so boring, probably you need to ask yourself if that is the place where you would like to go.
Okay. You have anything to say?
Yeah, I think that you say a lot of interesting points in the moment you move from freelancer to become a company. But I think that the important thing is this is a different kind of business. We are all of us are artists. We are artists. Then the interesting point is when you decide to, okay, this guy is doing my Photoshop instead of me. I'm not getting control of this, and I'm not going to take decisions about where the camera is. This other guy is going to do that thing, and that you become a guy that is with Excel instead. This is the moment when you have to move to a businessman. You have to assign tasks to other guys, and that is really tough because we have a big ego inside us, and the guy who knows where they put the camera, I have to try to teach this guy, but the other guys are artists too, and they have their own style. Then you have to move to, okay, the quality is going to be worse. No, it's going to be different. And you have to assign and teach these guys about your style, about, no, the cameras, please lower, no, higher, no, lower. And finally, okay, let me try the 3D mouse. Yeah, this is the right one. And the guy say, what the fuck? But you have.
You know that toilet guy?
Yeah. Then you have to move to other step beyond. That is teaching people about your rules, because it's your company, your style. And you have to teach people about, no, yes, you have your own style, but the style of the company is, this is the height of the cameras, this is the color grading we do prefer for our movies, and this is the kind, for all the things. In movies, you have to decide about casting, for instance. And I have people that manage all the models, because something weird like we shoot in Miami 2 years ago. And I had to decide before showing to the client who are the guys that going to be the main cast of the commercials. I have to decide about, yeah, but this is not working. Maybe you can choose this other one. And I have to ask to the director of the casting to move. Then you have to move aside in some moment and say, okay, do your right thing. And if the guy is not matching your style, you have to move to other guy. Then it's really difficult because you have to choose the artist that match your style, that these guys wants to be customized by your style. This is really tough for you moving from freelancer to have people working for you in the artist side. You can have a lot of people modeling because it's only rules. Okay, you have to name in this way. You have to model in these units, and that's all. And this is a different step. But you are doing still renderings, and you have to decide, no, I don't like this guy in the still rendering in this way. It's a tough moment when you decide to move in that way.
Okay, then we are talking now about teams, as you say. So I wanted to ask you how you achieve to bring talent to your companies. Where do you find this talent? How can you convince them? How can you motivate them? Is it all about money, or is there anything else? What do you think?
We find them on Ronen Berkerman's side. No.
Then it is all about money then.
I think it's actually nowadays for Brick it's easier to recruit people. It's like with clients, they come to us and they want to work with us. Basically, our strategy from the beginning, and it's turned out well, is not really all the time looking for people with nice renderings and hire them and, oh, this guy can do nice rendering, but looking for more like talent. And I think we proved the fact that if you're looking for talent with maybe even the guy doesn't know how to handle 3D Max or even V-Ray, it's not really relevant at the end, because if that guy, and I can be sure that that guy has a good talent in CG in terms of composition or art knowledge or background, then if you have a good professional team and you have a good culture to train these people, you can be really successful quickly. with these people. And I think we proved many times. So right now, many of the images that we have on Brick site made guys, they like people who has like 1.5 years experience in real CG, on high profile, high-end CG. And they doing now our portfolio, not me or other really senior guys.
Okay, but you have a big structure in your company. You can afford to have a coach. I think that maybe no one else can afford a coach. You have to upgrade these employees by yourself. What do you think? Should the companies invest in coach? Because if not, me or Javier is going to be the coach. Is this?
I think it's part of, when we started Brick, it's like the base story was that I didn't start it alone, but three of us started it. So that's easier. So it means that we invested so much time in the beginning and not getting back any money from it. And that's relevant, that you can actually afford not to get too much money for a longer period, 4 months. And secondly is that, yes, I spent a big amount of time in the first 2 years to coach the people, to find talents. So that's kind of part of the job if you decide to upgrade yourself from freelancing to do business, is to if you find somebody, not to teach them, to train them. Because maybe it's not the best choice to find somehow find a high-end guy on a high payroll at the beginning, and he will do the job for a while for you, and it will make money for you. But you cannot. It's another thing to make team members, group members, and if you give them this training, they start to believe in you, professionally. They start to believe in the company, not just I'm doing here the images, and then next year I will go somewhere else and doing the image. And I think that's part of the story in Brick, is that we managed to do that, not with everybody, but we have a quite strong, motivated core team because of this.
Okay, and what about you, Patricio? Because I think that you have a different strategy for that.
Yes, we follow a different strategy. We have 3 production offices. We have one in Miami, one that is our headquarters. We have another that is the oldest, Buenos Aires, and we have Madrid that we recently opened 1 year ago. Here in Madrid, we opened it 1 year ago with 6. Now we are 15. Okay, so basically what we do is, first of all, we took the decision a couple of years ago that we are not going to have any entry-level person in ARX. It was a major decision. We didn't focus on cost. Of course, cost is always important, but based on our experience, I'm happy to have Luis, who is the guy who started with R1, okay, at DOS, and there's another guy from 1986, so I acknowledge you. But I was here for a long time, and based on our experience, that not necessarily mean is the truth, okay? We decided to focus only on senior level person. So basically, when we hire someone, is a very for other firms, it's a very senior person. So basically, in ARX, there's no entry level or senior or semi-senior. All of them are senior level. Just to say, of course, with 3 offices is difficult, and I always looking for talent. I'm the person in charge of Arx Solutions of scouting. Some time ago, I had a conversation with one talented artist. Okay, that I contacted him. Okay, I said, well, would you like? But those days we were recruiting in Miami, and that is why we already have in each office hanged several flags that each flag represents at least one nationality. Currently, we have 15 different flags. So it means that in several cases, I'm looking to the main source. And that is why the reason why we came to Spain. This question is why we are in Spain. I did my research and I decided that the Spanish artists, okay, and the amount of talented artists in Spain was a good reason to set up a production office. In fact, we are not selling currently in Spain. We are basically producing in Spain because we came here to be closer to the source of good resources. So that is the part. But at the same time, if I cannot have it, because we have guys from Egypt, from Russia, Ukraine, Brazil, all over the world, we are willing to sponsor, okay? And so the call is like this. Well, I saw your portfolio. I do a lot of research on Ron's website, on Jeff's website, some other places, okay? I received some others. And based on that, suddenly I said, well, please send me your resume, send me your portfolio. And the first thing that I do is to go straight to the portfolio. I have a look at there, I see the first image, and I discharge it. Okay, so my first cut it used to take me 5 seconds. I open the first, it's not going. Up, suddenly, oh, let's go. Interesting. Okay, so I put a note myself and said, well, this guy is really talented. And if that, I have that difficult pearl, whatever it is, I sponsor so many visas in US, okay? I'm actually an attorney, almost, okay? All kind of different visas, I'm an expert. I can answer those questions. So I bring the guy, I enroll, and he's, okay, how much money do you want? What are the things? Are you willing to live in the United States, okay, for example, or in Argentina, or in Spain? So I'm dealing with that situation, but of course, it's very time consuming. So anyway, I'm always looking for talented artists all the time. You need to keep always on the radar. That is what we do.
Okay. Luis?
Sorry. Go on. Actually, when, like 2 years ago, I basically did the same thing when I did the recruitment, and I did it alone. Look through the first image, or even the logo. It was sometimes enough for me, the logo, not looking at the image. And then I ended up some not so good situation because I think sometimes portfolios can make fake promises, and that's challenging nowadays. There are many schools, good schools, and many people can learn how to do some know some basic things about composition and nice renderings. But you don't know the really, is it a tutored something based on something else, or you get help in that to make that image or portfolio? Is it commissioned or not commissioned? And these are really relevant questions. So I started to do, of course, Skype interviews if it's outside. Like most of the time we get it, we have employees from outside from Hungary, not anymore Hungarian people. And then it went well, and then I realized that I'm not an HR person. I don't know people. Sometimes they cheat me. I mean, they just cheating, and I cannot spell that. So right now we did another round with a face-to-face interview and some technical tests, and also a professional HR interview, which is nothing about Archviz, but more about getting the idea that that person really motivated to do this with us in Hungary for long term, like being part of the team. And that's, for me, I believe it's going more and more well because of this. And this is about, put it in the next level, like more professional level, which is not anymore about Archviz, but how to do a professional recruitment in a business. So that's it.
Okay. Luis, anything to add?
Yep. For us, the way we try to attract talented people is completely different. We don't have an office in a cool place like Miami, like Patricio has, and we live in La Coruña. Is the headquarters, and Jeff knows, and he loves the city, but it's opposite of Barcelona. It's really tough for us to attract people from other locations. Like all the people wants to try to move to Barcelona, Amsterdam, and we are more focused, more in most than people that is in a senior level. We look for intermediate level because you can. Since we are working in movies instead of still rendering, you can have a team of 10 people working each one in still renderings with different styles, like you said before, and they are doing their job. But in movies, it's completely different. We have to work with green screening, with a lot of different tasks, and you can. We try to teach everybody about the whole process, but somebody is more talented in one step or in other. We recently decided to try to move people from one process to other because people get bored really instantly. If you are trying to do the same thing, modeling or doing streets or doing real time or programming or post-production or color grading or cutting, suddenly it becomes boring because it's all the same. Then we try to move from different clients from 6 months to 6 months, and we look for that intermediate people, and we are focusing having people that works in the team. One guy from the studio is there, and we are all the same mood, quiet people. We are all people honest. Nobody is the typical, yeah, I know how to do that, and you don't have to teach me, or this is my way. All the people in my team is the same. We all communicating the tricks to each other. If somebody asks for something, it doesn't depend on you are the chief or you are the head of whatever. We are the same, and we are looking for the real interview. For me, most important than the portfolio is the guy. You say you saw the first picture and you decide this not. Me is the calling. Hey, how do you doing, guy? Do you want to work with us? And what are you doing right now? And the guy start to speak with me and say, what the fuck? This is not the guy. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, you can send me the portfolio whenever you want. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I would like to clarify something. So, is the first cut, okay, when we use the portfolio as the first cut? Of course, if there's no talent there, it's a waste of time. When we did the first research here, I did our research in multiple countries, okay, to set up where it's going to be, because I was dealing with a production team. We need to expand and do it and hire faster. So that is why we came here. So, but anyway, the point is that we did as a research, we put an advertising under a different name in InfoJobs here, okay? And we were looking for talent. So we received, by the time, the final number was 165 applications.
Not bad.
If you need to really have an interview with 165 guys, it's going to take you forever. So that is why you need to use a certain filter, and that is why we use that filter as the first filter. Of course, if I have the short list, I will try to get, if that person sometimes is 12 hours ahead of you, so it's difficult, so we set up a Skype call, okay, with the person. In some cases, when he's a strategical person, we pay him and he comes to our office, he works with us 1 week, okay? And we see working in a real project with a real delivery, okay? Mm-hmm. And after that, we decide. Some cases, we invited guys that at the end, we decided to not hire him. And some others that, okay, we will do all this and we will start the mess of visa process of getting O1 visas. Okay, most of our visas in ARX are O1 visas, are very complicated to get, but you should get certain qualifications that are by far over the average. But anyway, is that the filter? You use multiple filters, but of course, at the end, face-to-face is And at the same time, the teammate, the spirit of the person is extremely important, because we hate selfish guys.
Everybody. No, I mean,
I
when
hate the
I say we do interviews, it's because it's a short list. We target somebody, and we start
yes,
to,
of course.
this guy, I remember. And we target somebody, and we have an interview. No matter the portfolio is always good. And target and focus and try to seduce. Put your best dress to go with to the interview and try to seduce the guy, but sometimes works.
But cheating the portfolio, what you said,
Yeah,
is
a lot
very
of time.
common, that
A lot of
someone
people.
will use one of the tutorials to create something that they changed a little bit, and all of them are having the same scale.
Or-
But you
or
are
nice
trained and you
visualization.
detected that this is
Yeah.
using this.
Yeah,
is
a lot of time.
This is a tutorial from so. At
Or,
the end,
or
you
just
detect
1
it.
month's production time for an image, what we can do in-house within 1 day. And that's, you have to ask, how much time does it take to do this?
Okay. We have this profile of guy that is working in an architecture company. He has a romantic idea about architecture, but he's very talented doing 3D, and we want him to join to our team. We want him to make the switch to 3D. Forget about doing a special architect in the future. You're not going to be that man. Okay. Is this possible? We want to bring these people out of the companies, of these companies. We don't want to see talented 3D artists in architecture company. We want them in our offices. How can we convince them that doing 3D, you can have a good life instead of super, prominence in the architecture world, because this is not going to happen.
Can I answer this question? Because
Sure.
no, I have a personal experience about this, because actually I'm an artist, and I still believe that in a way I'm an architect, just not doing that.
You're a romantic guy then.
Yes, I'm just
40 guys.
I convinced myself. But I did it like for a longer period, for 6 years in Hungary, jumping around in architect offices and doing not just visualization but design concept planning for competitions, like doing together, like help for the architects. And what I realized in myself is that yes, I want to do creative work. That's not a question. But I had to separate that. Do I have the need to like really design the building or see it constructed, or the only thing what I'm missing is the creativeness of the work? And I ended up with the decision that, yeah, actually I'm a creative person and I want to do creative things, but I don't have the need to design something as a building as an architect. And that's I think that's the big step. You won't be able to convince a person who has the deep need to really design building and see it constructed and believe in architecture in this way. You will be able to maybe open eyes and separate these two topics, to do creative work and to do design work, specific design creative work in architecture. And if you manage to convince the person that, yeah, you can do creative work but not architectural designing, then maybe.
Okay.
You first? Yeah. I have a weird feeling about it, because most of the people think that if you move from architecture studio to visualization, you are not creating architecture anymore. And we have a very good experience with that, because some clients, I think 50% of our clients are fund investment companies, and they own a plot or whatever. And when they ask for a project to an architecture studio, they only give a few sketches or something, and suddenly comes this company of visualization to make an impressive movie to fundraising us, and suddenly we say, oh, this is the project? Really? And do you want to try something different? And we steal the project. And we start to work with architects. Then don't be afraid of moving from one architectural studio to visualization. We do architecture in the same way. Because for the dinner we had yesterday, most of your clients are architects. But you move to fund investment companies or you move to banks because really right now in Spain, the owners of the plots and the future developments are the banks. And if you try to have the clients in the banks or the fund investment, you can move a completely different way and you approach like, yeah, we are going to do a movie without defining the whole project like other architect should do. And we are going to make an impressive new project. And if the project goes on, we do the project. And this is the second step. Okay, but the funny thing here in Spain is you earn more money like in visualization than the fees from the architect because you have to pay a lot of things and that is really tough for us. And you know how the fees in Spain for architects are going down, are fell, and I think it's below this ground. Then you earn more money with visualization. A funny story happened 2 years ago. We did a movie in Lanzarote, and we started to do. The project was really bad, and we told the owner, okay, let's try something different and do a modern architecture. Don't you mind if I try? Yes, for sure. Give me a project. And all the owners, all the people in the family owning the plot say, well, the fine is impressive. Yeah, we do really prefer. Okay, how much is the fees you are paying for the architecture? And the guys told me how much they were paying to the architects, and I say, okay, maybe I'm going to call a friend to do the executive project and the direction of the project because I don't think how to deal with this. It's different fees. Then don't be afraid about it because in visualization we do creative architecture all the day because most of the projects that are coming to us are not completely defined. For doing the final images, you have to decide a lot of things. And sometimes you can get the project.
Okay, so in our case, what we do in order to enroll and register, basically, a client, a potential artist who is working for an architectural firm, okay, or for any other firm, okay. Victor might apologize. Okay. So anyway, forget it. There's one situation that you need at a certain point that, of course, money is going to be an asset. Okay, it's going to be always present. What is going to be? I can answer the question regarding to what we did in Spain specifically because each country has different properties. So in Spain, the way that we enroll people is that, well, we are actually working with very cool projects. We are actually working in the tallest building in US, the tallest building in South America. We are working in the redesigning of Times Square. So those are very attractive projects, okay? The new vision of some major retail store, okay, the change. So those kind of things suddenly are very interesting because suddenly I found that here in Spain, that was very interesting, okay? But to be part of those kind of projects suddenly is enough motivation, okay, that is not money only. Well, are we truly going to work on this kind of projects? Yes, I can share it to you. So this and this and this. Okay, interesting. That is something that probably is out of the possibility in the local market. Those are part of the things that we use to enroll talents.
Okay.
Just one thing really quickly, what I can add to how to convince an architect to become inside the studio an Archviz guy. When I did a recruitment and I met this kind of guys a couple of times when they did Archviz inside an architect studio, the main reason they wanted to quit or join to an Archviz company is that they were alone, or like two of them, and this whole Archviz is just of course we know that it's blowing up, and you have to always follow up the things. And if you do your daily work alone in Archviz or two people doing it, then you don't have that background, that which helps you to improve, because you know your boss won't be a better artist, will be an architect, which is good, but you are an Archviz guy. And what I realized that, for example, in some architect offices there are big architectural visualization team, and it's that case, it's okay. So they manage to build up a really strong team, and people get excited professionally about it, because they can have the same support from each other what you can get from an Archviz company like Foster and Partners, or even I know that Gensler has it, or many of the big names.
Well, I think now it's time to talk about money. Okay, so this is an interesting thing. During our AVA meetings, there is always this subject that comes up. It's about how much we charge, if it is a fair price, if it is a reasonable price, or it is not. And there is always some kind of secrecy around this regard. Okay, no one wants to explain the numbers. In example, in Bergeron we had decided not to hide the numbers. Okay, if someone came with a request, we just some time ago we did this research about who is asking for the price, but we are stopping doing that. We are just sending the price because we know that it's not a real client. It's something that wants to find out what's our price. Then we say, okay, let's show what's our price. Maybe it helps this company, or finally it helps us, because this guy knows that he can charge more money or whatever. But I'm sure that sharing this information is not really bad. But do you think that this is a wise strategy, or that we are crazy people? What do you think? Do you do something similar in your situation?
Well, first of all, I think that the pricing is always a repetitive question that I believe that is coming in every symposium, congress of Archviz, is what is the right pricing? And I'm going to answer finally, Jeff, the answer that you asked me 2 years ago at the 3D symposium, that it was this question. I said, I think that pricing has different things that must be addressed. So basically, for someone who is in Bangladesh, okay, and his clients are single architects who are doing remodeling bathrooms, okay, in Bangladesh, probably for that person, $100 is a lot of money, okay, in his local market. At the same time, for someone else, okay, in Europe, they are charging, I don't know, a couple of hundreds or even thousands. The point is that there's so many considerations. It's not only what is the right pricing. The right pricing is the money that they will pay you based on your location, your conditions, your branding. There's so many things. If you have an office in the Fifth Avenue in the middle of New York that you are paying $100,000 a month, okay, for a lease, how much do you think that person will charge? Okay, so those are coming together at the right pricing. So there are some guys who are charging $7,000 or even more per rendering. Does it mean that the guy who is receiving $25, okay, is stupid? No. The problem is that he doesn't have the same clients, and the possibilities of charging more for that person is very difficult. He will need to do something else. Or even in Bangladesh, there's many things that he can do in order to improve. But does it mean that at a certain point, someone in Bangladesh will be able to charge as a premium, okay, product in New York? I really believe that it's going to be very hard. So basically, the right pricing is basically what of all these considerations to address properly. Okay, so it's like, and this is bringing me to another thing. So, how much is it cost? Is the client who comes to you, how much do you charge per rendering? So, how much is it cost a car with 4 wheels? okay, 2 seats, glasses, and an engine. Well, the band for that is from 250 euros to 2.5 million euros. Okay. Well, yes, all of them. A Bugatti is matching the right car of Doña Rosa, okay, that she purchased when Franco came to the government. Okay, so that is the kind of things. So it means that there's different things that must be addressed when you are quoting. So how much is it charged? Well, based on which conditions. What is the acceleration that you would like to have? Well, I would like to have a car, okay, that accelerate in 1.5 seconds to 100 kilometers. Well, okay, now directly from that point, you remove a couple of cars that are not. But the problem is that when you have a client who is looking for the acceleration of a Bugatti with the finishing of a Rolls Royce and a budget of a Fiat, that is the problem. Well, it's not your problem, it's the client's problem. Because, of course, okay, keep moving, okay, thank you. I'm not going to waste my time with that.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt your speech, but this is not what I was asking for. But I knew that you were to say these kind of things, and it's very valuable information for the public, so this is why I didn't want to stop you. What I'm asking is if it is good for the competence to share the prices.
I think to share the price, it's possible, but it doesn't, make any sense. I would say, but if we share the knowledge how we calculate our prices, that's maybe more usable knowledge than I'm saying I'm charging 1,000, 2,000, and I don't say the currency, and it's easy for me. But I believe, if you look at it, like what is the logic behind it, it's pretty simple. What is the biggest cost? It's people, working hours. Okay, then you calculate how quick I am if I'm a freelancer, or how quick my company is averagely, and then you add the cost, all the financing stuff that you have to add to it, and then you end up in a kind of hourly or daily fee with some profit or whatever you want, and then you count the hours. And if you can, end up in a good situation because you paid hours actually, not price, but you say that, okay, this image will be ready, made by one senior artist within 5 days with common trans and this kind of things. And this guy costs this money for the office with the additional things like using the hardwares, the office costs and this kind of things. And if you can simulate things, then you can, after that you can really, check, not necessarily the profitability, but how much time you spend, like really are you able to deliver it within 5 days or not? And then you end up in the pricing. So if you are in Spain and you are a freelancer, you have to calculate what is your plan. Am I going to, if I make a business with, I don't know, I'm planning to have 5 people next year, what is the cost behind it? Salary, office, something like this. And not think about, okay, that's my price because the other one pricing that. No, don't think about it. You will end up on the same price, believe me, if you calculate it accurately. How much I earn, how much profit I need, how much cost I'm going to have if I rent out an office space, and then your pricing will be probably realistic.
Okay, how much of you guys have an exhaustive list about the cost of your companies, or how many hours it takes to you to make a project? How many? Wow.
May I ask you a question?
We have a big problem right now.
Please raise your hands. Who of you has a fixed cost per rendering? So this is bringing me to the point that is interesting, because putting online your pricing list Okay, what is their pricing list? If there's a few guys who are actually having a pricing list, it means that all others are quoting basically on a custom-made proposal based, of course, if someone comes with a bathroom or a toilet, and the other one is an aerial view of a huge master plan with full detail, how you will be able to charge the cost per rendering? It's not going to take the same time. One is going to be 1 day, and the other is going to take 3 weeks, I don't know. So it's so custom-made that in my mind, that is a waste of time, and of course it's not helping because the client is going to always go with the easiest answer. And what does it mean? You said that you charge per rendering, I don't know, 2,500 or 3,000 or 400 or 4,000, whatever, okay? And they will, and I would like to have 10 revisions, okay, with design changes in 3 different versions, okay, and I'm going to pay, come on, so. But you said that you are charging this amount. That is why I came to you. So in my mind, it's against the business. It's a personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, I wanted to talk about the future or what's on the table right now that is about virtual reality. Okay. I know that some of you have different opinions regarding this. Do you think that this is going to be a passing trend? Or is this the real business for the future?
Yes, I have a very particular vision of VR.
That's why.
Yeah,
I wanted
know,
to ask you
because I sent you the question. How many of you guys remember James Cameron telling Avatar and 3D movies is gonna be the future? Nobody in 2012 is gonna see a movie is not 3D. How many do you remember James Cameron telling that? And all the cinemas, all the theaters around the world putting the projectors 3D, and it was like nobody's inside Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Who the hell was watching that movie in 3D? I was just for curiosity, and I leave the movie in the middle because I was watching the same movie before in 2D. This is the same like VR. Or the second one, how much of you guys have a 4K TV screen in your home? How much? Can you put your hands up? Only? Okay, a lot of people, common people, know people with technician knowledge, is going to FNAC in Spain, for instance. Okay, I want a TV screen. Only 4K, this is the future. All the people is shooting in 4K, and you need the same like the 3D TV screens that was like 1 year in the market or something like that, and something suddenly disappear. VR glasses are not working for architecture. That's my opinion. Why? Why? It's the same. Do you remember Avatar, the movie, and that when something is floating in the middle of the screen was like magic? Wow! Hey, can I take it? But what happens when you reach the architecture? The edge of the spaces are disappearing in your lateral vision. Your peripheral vision is not working at all. And you suddenly say, what the fuck? And they are trying to lie me because I'm not in this space. The 3D feeling stops in the peripheral vision. And you have other point, VR glasses. How many of you guys have VR glasses in your home right now? Okay, let's take 1% of the people in the world has VR glasses? Nope. And your clients has VR glasses? How many of your clients has VR glasses? Yours? Yours? All the clients? And it's working? Yes. Okay. You are the opposite guy. For me, it's not working at all. Because the VR glasses...
2 years ago.
Sorry?
Not 2 years ago.
Not 2 years ago. In my personal opinion and the client's opinion is I have I don't know if somebody from 24 Studios here today from Madrid. No. Okay, these guys prepare a really good real-time application in an office tower in Madrid. The opinion of the client, yes, it's cool. We have a press note in all the business newspapers in Spain, we are the first doing virtual reality for architecture. Okay, 20 years ago was the same VR classes, almost the same, and didn't work. And what was the opinion of the guys that are visiting the VR glasses and putting the VR glasses? Okay, nice. It's a bit okay. I'm not going to try a second time. Because we are technicians, we are in the same world, we believe one each other, we talk about VR glasses, this is the future, but the guy that is in the middle of the square, you put the VR glasses and say, oh, okay, yeah, that's amazing. Want to try a second time? Maybe not, this is a bit, because VR glasses are trying to fake the vision to your brain, and your brain is really intelligent, you know that. And your brain is fighting against, what the fuck? This is close to me. No, it's perspective. No, it's close to me. It's perspective. And your brain becomes exhausting. And the experience is exhausting. Maybe for us, no, because we are used to do it, and maybe our client is convincing. Okay, there are a lot of money behind this VR glasses, but the client that is trying to buy an apartment in somewhere, or an office, or an executive from an office, go there and say, okay, nice. Do you want to try it again? Maybe not. That's my experience, my personal experience. But there are a lot of money involved.
I think we have different opinion.
I trust in real time. Real time for me is completely. VR glasses is the only one.
Yeah, we are in the opposite side, as you can see.
Yeah, most of the people do. Don't worry.
No, in this way. So he has a great demo, self-explain it very well. So anyway, you can. Anyway, I have a different opinion, Luis, and the reason why I believe is that it's a matter of experience. I think that, of course, you have the innovation at the beginning, and the people would love to have that headset for the first time and see how it's look. But after that, if the level of experience is not good enough, that is why we didn't sell any product when DK1 or DK2 were development kits, because we knew from the beginning that the level of experience was really sucks. So we decided to not offer anything until to have the right and secure the right level of experience. Right now we are actually delivering several virtual reality. So currently, probably 50% of 40-something, okay, are quotes regarding to virtual reality right now. And that is currently, I check with your analytics, Jeff, and I believe that are right, okay? The way that is increasing a lot. I think that the core of this is that the experience should be really good, and there's only a few companies, okay, do a great job that really provides a good virtual reality product, because delivering something in virtual reality has a level of complexity that is beyond an image, but way beyond of an image. It's not framing, it's not art stuff. It's much more complex. So it means that you need to have more resources. And for the first time, if you really would like to provide a really good solution in virtual reality in the Archviz, you will need to have some partners called programmers. Okay, that are different guys. Okay, so and the reason why in ARX we put some programmers on this, it was in order to provide and secure the level of experience. When someone provides this, and first of all, it should be painless. Okay, completely intuitive. In fact, when we develop solutions and whatever it is, the most complex one, I try to test with persons that is my grandmother. No, but I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding at all. I'm bringing, my mother is a really difficult client, okay, because she can program, okay, the alarm in his iPhone, okay, so it's great for me because if she's struggling from moving from one point to another, okay, what can I expect with my client? So I need to develop something to help someone who is not a technical person to move from one place to another. That is, of course, I have a very fun experience that I learned when we implemented the first virtual reality a couple of years ago. Tamberry Ocean Club received a lot of media, NBC, ABC, New York Times, all of them, wow, 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 amazing. And when we were training the guy, okay, the realtors, for setting up the experience, we have the team of realtors, and we were teaching how to use the solution, the real time, blah, blah, blah. I remember that one guy, the senior guy, it was 3 years ago, he took the Xbox control and he pushed forward at top speed and he went across the lobby and he fell down into the pool. And he went just straight to the corner. It was like the worst nightmare ever. And he was stuck in the corner, like pushing, like, pa, pa, pa. I said, no, you need to rotate yourself. And it was very clear, and we learned it in the hard way, okay? Well, we need to have a solution that is for this specific user and for several users that are having the same level of experience. We need to set up something that it should be extremely easy to use, easy to learn, intuitive. Because the reason why someone hire us for virtual reality is not because they would like to have the best virtual reality in the world. It's because they try to sell something to someone else. So it's a tool. And if that tool is not helping them to sell, it's a waste of money. So that is why it's so extremely to secure that the level of experience surpass the expectations, not only for the first-time user, also for the one that after 5, in fact, we have a law. How difficult it is, the solution, the person should be able to navigate and do whatever he wants in less than a minute. If we need to start explaining the person how to do this for more than 1 minute, we need to go back and review how we are managing this. So anyway, I think that virtual reality is going to change the world. And this is bringing to what I think that there's a big opportunity for us because we are familiar with 3D. All of us here are familiar with 3Ds. And it's a personal opinion but I believe that 3D in virtual reality, in architecture, is going to be extremely important. I truly believe that probably in 15 years from now, or 20, but it's not going to be if that is happening in 15 or 20, but it's going to happen. At a certain point, the majority of the architects are going to design something that to be lived in the virtual world, and probably architects will have more work designing for stuff for virtual reality or for the virtual world than the real world. So for all of us who are in this saloon, it means that you are having an advantage because, as you know, a quick rendering is something that it can be done for almost with perseverance in 2 hours, okay? But deliver very good rendering, it takes a lot of years. So that is why I think that the future is going to be there, okay? Not necessarily mean that we are going to abandon renderings and animations like we didn't abandon watercolors. Anyway, that is how I think. And each client will require different things that are covering. In fact, and I'm finished with this, okay? I have a good experience. We have a certain product that's called, it's a service called charrette. We deliver when someone has a project, we deliver the team and they work on site with the client, work at his location. So it's charrettes. We did a lot of charrettes all over the world. We travel a lot. But in one case, we have a very important town planner firm called DPC in Miami. And DPC, I had a meeting with Andres Duani, and Andres said, Patricio, this is what is happening to me. You did all these renderings, amazing stuff during a whole week. We delivered, but this is not good for me. And that is why I would like to have this face-to-face conversation, because I'm going to cut your services. I said, why? Well, because technically, I'm a town planner, so it means that I'm working in a certain level, okay, of abstraction, because I need to work in a very high, large scale, okay? But your renderings are requiring from me to provide you so much information in order to achieve that style that enforce me to spend more time defining, for example, in a town planning. The other day we spent 3 days working in order to give you the information for the public, how do you say in English? Los tachos de basuras, ¿cómo dice? Public realm, okay, or urban furniture. But the fact we are not in that stage. So suddenly we were in a situation that we spent more time because your renderings require certain level of information, and that input was provided by us in the traditional way with a watercolor that is showing basically a rough idea. Is better solution, and I understood that. So that is a good explanation why in some cases the renderings in the way that we traditionally do are not accurate for everyone. At the same time, in the future, virtual reality is not going to be accurate for everyone, or movies or renderings. That is what I think about that.
Okay. And what do you think about, for Andras, to have your companies, you can make a choice, specialize your company just in one product, for example, still images, or you can try to do as much as you can. What do you think that is the best strategy? Try to do something really amazing, or to have several products with super high quality, but maybe not the best?
We want several products in super amazing quality.
Nothing else.
But
yeah,
what can you advise to the other guys that are like mortals? Okay,
just jump back to VR, because of course I have some things to add. But yeah, some of our clients already using it. What we do, maybe it's simple as hell, like stereoscopic images for Samsung here, but they are using it. Even architects, they are they have like 2 or 3. For example, Gensler has. And they go to meeting and they sell their design with this helping there to explain the design changes. So yeah, that's a really simple explanation why we are believing in VR, because they start to order VR. So that's pretty easy. In the other hand, what I believe is before Brick, for 2 years I worked in a startup company called Real 5D, and we had a crazy vision about how to sell apartments in the future. So we developed a totally unique engine, a real-time engine, not based on Unity or Unreal, these kind of things. And we set up a server-based service, which was basically you could log in, and everybody could log in the virtual space. What we did, like for example, an apartment, and you were shown as an avatar, and you could talk with each other because we implemented voice guiding system and everything. You could share things or change things like material and this kind of things. Of course, it was just an experiment, but it worked. And we tried to sell it. Of course, you had to use keyboard or this kind of things, and the whole thing was pain in the ass. But everybody was amazed. We were in this MIPIM or MAPIC, where all the developers were there, and they were amazed, and they tried once and never again. But it gives me a good lesson that these kind of things eventually will be here sooner or later. Just we have to wait for the right platforms on every side. So somebody said before this talk about iPad that's a new medium, because we can show our digital pictures on these platforms, and the brokers using that iPad when they make the sales pitch in the showroom or whatever. So yeah, eventually the simple 2D images what we deliver is maybe not printed out anymore all the time. 3-4 years ago, they printed out more often. the main medium. That I know it, for example, in Norway, that they are using less and less newspaper to advertise there, and this is like really simple things. But now they're using the images to upload to the whatever website where they advertise and sell apartments, and then the broker not using any more printed materials. But this is really basic. But it shows something, a trend, which if we reach that level, that will be able to, available for everyone here and easy, because it's just something that you plug into your eyes or whatever. It will be easy. It will be like a mobile phone, which is like, if I look at it, everybody has a mobile phone in their hand right now. And if we reach that level, it will be easy. And also it will change our I think, the platforms as well. So right now we're using, if we want to do real time, we need game engines and this kind of things. No, it's like, I don't have that people, and I don't want to teach my people to do that, because that's a game engine. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested when we will have the platform to use efficiently real time with Archviz background, Archviz knowledge. I don't want 5 programmers or game engine developers who will do it. It will be really expensive. So maybe we have to wait a little bit to have, if we really will deliver that amount as like still images or movies, but it will come. So that's what I think. And of course, we're already selling some application as well, but mainly for static.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You started providing solutions in virtual reality for how long? When did you start to sell the first virtual reality?
In January.
Yeah, in January.
Okay, I don't know if anyone in the public has any question. Okay, class.
Yeah, I know attention span of my clients is usually around 80 seconds, so I won't be long. I think with virtual reality, we started our first project in 2 years ago. That was for 800 apartments, and we did 6 types. And we enabled the people to shut out the light in the apartment when they were looking through the glasses. So the people were looking through these Oculus glasses. They had the feeling of power. They can first look back at the back or the front, and they could turn off the light. They could take the furniture out of the apartment. All these things, and the people were like flabbergasted by it. They couldn't believe it. So we decided to go on with it, and then I showed 11 clients this application, and I keep track of my talks with the clients in an Excel sheet, so I know exactly how much time it took. And 10 of the clients wanted their jobs. They wanted this Oculus solution. Then I read an article in the newspaper last year. It was statistics of people looking at websites, at real estate websites. 2.5% visits the websites on their iPhone. Now the iPhone, we have carton glasses. We give them to everybody. We buy them in China, and we give them to everybody who is a little bit interested. And even like you said about your mother, even like housewives, they can't believe it. So last time I had the lady, we were teaching photographic courses for architectural photography, and I showed her a modeled interior, and she asked me, "Oh, can you do that also for visualizations?" She thought it was real. The first time I was looking through the glasses, Oculus glasses, I looked at my feet and I was upset because I didn't see my feet. And this convinced me with the 92.5% of looking at the iPhone. This will change the world completely. And in the future, those Oculus glasses will be like sunglasses. So it will be really easy.
More like mixed reality.
Yeah,
mixed reality is going to be the next job.
Yeah.
But there's something else regarding to virtual reality, and I believe that is extremely important to bold. That is basically, virtual reality empowers the client in a way that never happened before. basically, because for someone who is not a technical person, virtual reality provides the possibility to fully understand one of the main concerns, that is the right scale. For example, how big is this room, basically? When you are having a good virtual reality, the scale that is going to come is very, very close to the real perception. And it's a personal opinion, but at the same time, that opens up the Pandora's box. Because suddenly the clients are starting to deal with situations that the client, the final client, the client of my client, basically, okay, starting to do corrections to the architect, like, well, I don't like this joint here. Is that like, yes, it is. Well, we can change the joint. And suddenly, for an architect to spend the time having the discussion with the joint is a warning. But at the same time, the client loved it. I see that they loved the solution because they finally understand. Okay, well, the typical problem that several clients came to us and said, "How much are you cheating?" Okay, this room. Okay, we are going to move the observer out of the room. Okay, and we are going to delete the first wall. So those kind of things cannot be cheated anymore. And I believe that for someone who has a good project, a truly good project, will be splitted from the one who has not a good project. So good clients are going to request that to differentiate themselves with bad projects. So I think that is a good tool, and that is the reason why they will ask us to do that kind of things.
Okay.
And they will save money because of that, because you don't make fake promises. So that's really important when they start to make money because they're using VR, selling the apartment earlier, or even, really promise what they are doing and don't have like problems at the end when they really have the project. That's a big thing. So yeah.
Any other question? This is going to be the last one because we are starting right now.
Hello. Do you think that one of the problems with virtual reality can be that it's a new language, but we are still trying to do the same we do before with cinema, for example, but in a completely different language? So maybe we need to make different things. For example, you can't move the same way in virtual reality. So you need to think in different ways of communicate using this virtual reality media. Do you think that's one of the problems? No.
I think it's like photography, and then moving picture came in the thing, and then they did like the moving picture like in the theater, and then they learn how to communicate, how to do movies really. And now we're trying to do, when we put together a fly-through movie, we're trying to do something like that, but storytelling, and then we have to learn how to really do not movie-like something. And it's the same, I think, with VR. We have to learn how to make content.
What do you learn something? You can give us some advice.
Did we learn something?
Learn something.
Yes.
Can you give us some advice about what to take account when you make virtual reality content, and what to avoid when you make virtual reality content?
Well, first of all, change your fees. Okay, because virtual reality is going to be so demanding, okay, that if you still thinking that because you have a 3D file, okay, of a room, I have this, so for this amount of additional, euros, I'm going to get. I have everything for building the virtual reality. Let me tell you that, unfortunately, you are wrong, okay? And if you are coded in that way, you are going to lose a lot of money. So basically, my advice, first of all, change your fees. Adjust accordingly with the time that you will spend. And it's going to be a lot of time, okay? Because as soon as they starting to go into virtual reality, they will start pushing forward with the level of detail. Okay, and suddenly in all the different angles. So it's not necessarily what I see from here, is what is behind me, okay, what is on the right, what is on the left, what is on the top. So basically, be aware that sometimes you are not thinking about that. So those kind of things means that you need to think in multiple dimensions, okay, and in a completely different level, because doing post-production in virtual reality is such a painy process, okay? So it means that we need to produce everything in terms of production with minor or insignificant post-production, or at least that you are proficiency. If you are, we are scouting for that senior person, okay, so welcome. But anyway, I think that those are the kind of things that you need to be aware if you are going to start doing virtual reality.
Just to add to this, how painful is this? If we're talking about just a stereo image, you know, if you want to do the same kind of mood and post, we sometimes selling it like in a package, still image plus VR points 360. You know, to do the same post-production, you need to use After Effects, really complicated script, copy pasting for 2 eyes with some. So it's a really complicated thing. So this is why we have to add a lot, not just, you know, some additional modeling. And also I think it's about the user experience, or understand what really the client needs and how to utilize, how they can utilize this. Because I have a really good example, like we called it, we give a prize for AR something, you know, this mixed reality, something for Skanska, Hungary. And then they said they want to see through the iPad, the house, what they will build. And, you know, like to do this, you know, track, use a software for that. You have to make a real-time, really good low-poly model, everything. It's hard. And then we started to ask questions, what they really need. And we ended up with a QR code with an arrow painted on the floor, and then you could read that QR code, and when you bring up the iPad, you could see a simple panorama image, that building, which was much better quality because it's just a static image, and that was their goal. But you know, you give a prize for them, and if you don't understand and you cannot explain what is the difference between the two, then you will choose the wrong path, which is much expensive, and it won't fulfill their needs.
The last one.
Okay, I have one simple question, and then I think it's a Boeing or Airbus. I ask us sales guys, in the next future, we will have large airplanes that carry all the people, or simple single airplanes? And when I ask this question to the architectural visualization firms, when we look at the future with the help of the computers and the software, it's getting easier, we will see more large companies with 20, 50, 60, 80, 100 people of the visualization companies, or simple, single, or 2, 3 people, freelancers, or photographers. What do you think about the future? Large-scale companies or small groups of?
I think that depending on the kind of tool, because I think that for still renderings, the worst part is one single man works for doing a project. But I think that more in the future we are going to be attracted from talented people. Like, I think that you can read collective in a lot of companies, because when people is joining and bringing some different skills one to each other, large companies are going to be the future. But it's not that the freelance is going to be done at all. But the clients are attracted for large companies. They give them a good security and confidence, because you know that they are going to reach the deadlines very well, instead of the freelance, because you don't know the career of this guy. And large companies like Patricio has is you can trust. And maybe if you develop a relation with a freelance for 2, 3 projects or more projects, you can trust him for more projects. But he is going to become a company with a businessman. He's going to hire people, and suddenly, if the guy still has your confidence is going to hire my people. You are going to show the portfolio to other clients and suddenly become a large company. Only if he fails, he's not going to become a large company, I think.